welcome back to Whiteboard Gematria. I'm your host, Dallas, and let's get to it. Now, this is a subject I have never touched on before. It is a volatile subject, and it's, again, very, very close to a lot of people's hearts. So, just as I did with the Nephilim video, I figure I might as well get everybody to hate me. So, without further ado, let's get to it. The Flat Earth movement has been a very interesting movement. There's been truth, there's been lies, there's been misdirections, and it has been called a psyop. Now, we as a community, for the most part, I think, in general, have come to our own personal decisions upon it. So depending upon where you've come rested, this way or that, really isn't the interest of this video. This video is going to assume that you've already looked into this to some degree. If you haven't, I don't know if you'll find this interesting. However, for those of you who have, hopefully I can bring up a few questions, a few things to make you go, I don't know about that, and maybe some interesting conversations. So let's get to it. Genesis chapter 1, 2. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl birds that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Okay, so the firmament, the so-called dome, is an open area that birds fly in. It's not a solid structure. The earth's firmament is our sky. There's waters above and waters below. And in the middle is a firmament, which is the whole motion of our existence is governed by density. And we're all quite aware of the law of science when it comes to density. Now, depending on the way you think about this, you got to get your mind around this, is above us is water, below us is water, according to the Bible. So the higher up you go, the more dense it becomes, and the lower you go, the more dense it becomes. So if you were to turn this upside down, it's the same way. It drops and sticks. And I want you to notice how density works. There's no fireworks, there's no explosions. It just hits the point in which it can no longer proceed through the material that it's surrounded by. It's just the way density works. And we do have one example of this. So we see that this was a rocket that was sent up in order to test the altitude and that kind of stuff to, do this experiment. They claim they're hitting a dome. But what's interesting is there's no explosion. If that was a rocket and it flew into a solid wall, it would have been damaged. But that's not what happens here. It just stops. It just comes to the spot, stops dead, keeps, it doesn't fall back down. It's not destroyed. It just hits its point and can't proceed anymore. It's density. It just cannot penetrate the upper atmosphere because it comes too dense, just like the Bible says that it's more dense and with water as you go up, and just like water when you go down, it becomes more dense, the pressure. It is interesting, though, who tells us that there's a dome? The propaganda, the books, the movies, the TV, the Magic Simpsons, who have, been part of the untelling of the mass public, telling us to our faces what they want us to think and pulling these things off. The propaganda has told us there's a dome. Movies have told us there's domes. The Truman Show's a dome. Everything in the movies, the mass media, the propaganda machine is domes. The politicians, yet to shatter the glass ceiling, says Hillary Clinton. 18 million cracks. 18, 6 plus 6 plus 6. We know space is a man-made event. There's no gravity on the space station, so why is it dropping that? And why are the other people so blown away by it? The papal audience hall is a snake head, and the Vatican built an observatory called Lucifer. The NASA logo uses a serpent's tongue, and in Hebrew, NASA means deceiver. And these are the people and the government and the mass media who told you there's a dome. And where did they get it from? The Ophanums say that the domes were brought to Earth as a response from the ancient of cosmic destiny. Masters of cosmic destiny, architects and engineers of infinite capability, brought the domes to Earth in line with past proposals and future planned events. Surely this is encouraging to hear that the geomantic array of the Earth was planned out in advance by higher spiritual authorities for our benefit. This was a purposeful, teleological event from our designer planet. The domes will return for a fourth dome presence, the Olophem ad, when the masters of destiny and the angels of light see that man stirs in the spirit. The angelical order called the Elohim was intimately involved in the arrival, manifestation, and operation of the domes. In some respects, they are equivalent to the masters of destiny or cosmic chaplains, or counted among their numbers. In other respects, that they may be seen as angelic assistants to these august spiritual beings. In theosophical models, they were called the divine instructors, builders, Dean Kohans, and the seven Logoi, and the lords of light, divine intelligences charged with the supervision of the cosmos. And who is he quoting to substantiate his little talk here? None other than H.P. Blavatsky, the Theosophy Company. And here we have, by Martin Kenny, an image of Blavatsky's Theosophy domes and the ages of the earth. And they say that when we went from one generation to the next, is the domes we're going through. They're the ones who say North America and South America and all this is inside the domes that expand, and that's where we get our exit and entry into these other so-called pools and other lands. It's theosophy. It's ancient mysticism. And they present it to us as though it's biblical truth. Then why did they put flat earth dome predictive programming in everything? Even when Mars attacks. Were they foretelling us in 2022 during the Super Bowl, the Mars attacks that we would be receiving from the Cube company Walmart, that we would be getting curbside deliveries possibly, the Martians with their bubble heads? Did they know something? Did they know that we would need curbside service? Did they know that our bubblehead Martian airbag protectors were going to prevent us from it? The dome heads. The dome heads. It's all about the domes. The Martian attack dome. The Martian attacks domes. Is there a flat earth? Absolutely there is. And if you don't understand that, that might be another video I'll do at some other point. Is there a dome? Hopefully I've given you some information to think about. Who told you there was a dome? Who gave you evidence? Who made movies? Who made propaganda? Who are the politicians? It's the same people who are putting on everything else that's destroying you. So why do you believe that this is the one piece of truth they haven't lied about? Wherever you are, I hope this finds you well. God bless.